I knew about it, but not in this much detail. But looking into this world and seeing the complexities of it, it's almost like I know too much now.
Alexandra, it is so much fun to chat with you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Honestly, Night Sleeper is such a blast. It's got so much energy, so much fun. What excited you to hop on the train, if you will?
I read the first episode, and within the first 10 pages, I was gripped. I could really see where it was going, and then all of a sudden, everything turns. And it was from that moment that I was like, oh, I have no idea what's happening next. And Abby, for me, was a character that really excited me. She is, she's ambitious. She's worked her way up in the government. She works for cybersecurity, and she loves what she does. And there was something about that, and her the joy that she gets from her work that really excited me too.
Well, I'm glad you said that because this is a series that, even the first opening scene, you think you understand what's going on, and
Mm-hmm.
you really don't. Their pieces are constantly moving around the board. And Abby is a great character. She's so like she's strong, she's fun. There's a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I wanted to ask you about particular challenges with this role because your character is right in the thick of the action, but not in the thick of the action. Uh, was it a challenge for you to be able to engage Joe's character without being able to engage him directly?
Yeah, it was one of the biggest challenges that I thought about a lot before we started shooting. How on earth are we going to create that much chemistry when we're not ever in the same room together, where we can't look into each other's eyes and see what the other person's doing and get a sense of their character? So that was something that I thought about a lot before shooting. But we got into a groove with it, and we each visited each other on set to kind of hide behind the camera and give our lines so the other person could get a feel for the energy between the two of them. But yeah, it was so unusual to not be in the same room as your co-star ever. And we were shooting in completely different sides of Glasgow. So I was in a warehouse on one side of the city, and he was, and all of the train guys were all, the train team were all in the other side of the city. So it was like, there was a lot of, imagining what was going on, but then to watch it on TV and to see the special effects and to see the pressure cooker of the train and be isolated from it, and it was frustrating sometimes to, not be able to get through onto the phone, trying to get hold of the people on the train, and to have that distance sometimes enraged me as Abby because I just wanted to get my hands on it, and it was something that I couldn't control. Almost, it had a life of its own, and I just had to kind of try to understand it.
I can only imagine that because you two do have wonderful chemistry on screen, but like you said, you would have to figure out how you're going to do that, and that's got to be a great challenge for you as an actor. But one of the things I love about this film too, I love a good cyber thriller,
Mm.
and this one sort of blends the thrill of the action sequences with this cyber element to it. And I think Abby says at one point, everything tonight is a cyber matter.
Mm.
Um, and I wondered, like, maybe in your opinion, do you think maybe we rely too much on our technology because we see here the disruption that can happen when we lose control?
Mm-hmm. I think we're at a point now where we are so far in to cyber and this world that, before I played Abby, I had no idea about the cybersecurity side of things. I mean, I knew about it, but not in this much detail. But looking into this world and seeing the complexities of it, it's almost like I know too much now. And it is it is terrifying. But the writer, Nick, he had three experts around him. And when he had this idea, he got these three experts, a train expert, a hacking expert, and well, who else? Who was the third one? I don't know. Can't remember. But they got them in a room and was like, this is my idea. I'm going to leave you chat for 10 minutes. Would it work? And that's all they needed was 10 minutes. And then they were like, well, yeah, we're done. Yeah, it would work. And this is how we would do it. So it feels really close in a way. But I think that adds to the thrill of watching Nightsleeper, you know, for an audience being like, this could happen, and that uneasy feeling, and the fact that it's set on a train where, you know, all of us have been on a train where the train stops for just that little bit too long, and you start thinking, especially after watching this, you think, oh gosh, what's actually happening out there?
Yeah, yeah. I always find this stuff a little bit extra chilling at this point for us now because, I don't understand the hacking world. Actually, it's more terrifying that they had a hacking expert that said, "Yeah, I could do that." Uh,
I know.
like, oh no,
Just one guy, like, yeah.
one guy. Uh, but part of the thrill of this series too is that everybody in here seems to have their own agenda, and that seems to sort of drive so much of especially with your characters in the world that your character resides in. I would wonder in your mind, all of these people who have their agendas think they're doing the right thing.
Mm.
What do you think separates heroes from villains in a world where everyone thinks they're right?
Great question. Yeah, it was so interesting for us shooting this as the team in the office, because we all had one goal, which was to stop the train, but we were all working towards it in such different ways, and that's where the conflict came within us. But also that was happening on the train too. You know, you see everybody's looking out for themselves and looking out for the team and looking out for everybody. It's yeah, you just don't know who to trust and who is a good guy and who isn't a good guy. And those lines are blurred. And especially in this show, what I loved about it was that it's character driven. So yes, it's cyber, and yes, it's a fast paced thriller, but you're also getting a sense of these characters. And because it's in real time, they're messing up. You're watching them make mistakes, and not because of the pressure is on their shoulders, and it's really tough going. You see them, falter, and I really, really love that. But yeah, I think it changes. You know, what makes everybody thinks they're a good guy, right? No one's thinking I'm evil.
Yeah, back in the day, they used to have the great villain monologue, right? But now I think what we see is people that are just, you know, everybody thinks they're right. Um, I mean, you mentioned about shooting in real time. I wanted to ask you about that because that's such a unique way to build a story of any type, whether it's film or a series. Was that a challenge for you on set, or did it actually make things easier to sort of understand as things were unfolding?
Yeah, a bit of both, I think. Technically, what was difficult about it was that we would shoot maybe 3 or 4 scenes back to back without cutting. So, in the office with me, we'd have 2 guys on Steadicam just following me around as I'm walking around the office and making calls, and the director was like, oh, well, this is all in one area, so we should run the next 4 scenes together. And as an actor, you're thinking, yeah, okay, that sounds good, but I've got all of this sort of really techie, cyber based dialogue to say. So the heart rate starts going up, and you think, it's all on you, and you don't want to mess this up. And but in a way, I realized then that that's how Abby was feeling, at that time. It's all on her shoulders and she didn't want to mess this up. So we kind of mirrored each other in that moment. I was like, oh, well, Abby must be feeling a version of this fear that I've got right now. So I kind of just used that. But the real time aspect of it is interesting because, like I said, they're all, you're watching a group of people try to work towards one goal, but they keep on, because of the pressure being too much, or because of the what's going on in their world and how they best think that this should be solved. There's conflict there, and you're seeing them make mistakes and doubt themselves. And I think that's what makes this show a bit different, is that you're seeing these characters really question their decisions at times. And what I loved about Abby is that she presents as really confident and she's got it together and she's smart, but also there's a sense of self-doubt within her that I really enjoyed playing with. That is she good enough? Should she be the one leading the team on this? And it was that conflict that I found the most kind of joy out of.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. I know we're starting to run out of time, Alexandra, but I'm just wondering what you hope people take away from Nightsleeper.
I hope people enjoy it. I feel there's, I just want people to come along for the ride. And it's set on a train. We know trains, and it's one of those shows that you can just like throw yourself into. And it's an uncertain journey, and I want audiences to kind of play along with us because of the real time aspect of like, oh, I think it's this person, and I want those discussions to happen in people's minds, in people's homes, and try to work it out along with us on the screen.
I really appreciate that. Honestly, it's so much fun. Thank you so much for the time. I really do appreciate it. And Nightsleeper's just a blast.
Oh, thank you. It's so nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you too. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.